Oh, speak up. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Recoil works too.
So I know it's 1 minute to 10 o'clock, so I just want to give even the last person to come in, the last stragglers. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me and letting me do this. All right. That was not a joke. All right. Good. So I am actually very happy to do this because, you know, if you hear it from me, it's the horse's mouth, right? Whatever. So it butt stuffs with me, whatever. So again, thanks for having me and having my team here. So I will introduce them individually so that you can go ahead and get a name to the face and understand. Standing room only, do we not have seats? Come on, sit down.
There's some seats here.
Okay. So first things first. I mean, you all know who I am. My name is Achim, or Achim, or Hey You, or Chef, or Bottle Washer, or whatever it is. I was born here, honestly, in the United States, 1961, in Boston, Massachusetts. I grew up in Germany. I was a military brat. Mom and dad both were in the military. In Germany, basically, I got a degree in marketing and advertising from Stuttgart University. And after doing that for a couple of years, like Mom said, don't go ahead and do this because you're not going to like the job. She was right. And I actually left and never went back to do marketing and advertising. Now, don't want to offend anybody that done this in their past, but it wasn't for me. I worked for AFIS, Army and Air Force Exchange Service. You all know what that is. In Heidelberg, I went to their management academy. After a while, decided I need to do something else because, again, too young, right? Too many times you change your mind. Changed my mind again, got into the food business and never looked back. And that's been quite a while. Managed some NCO clubs, some officers clubs, Heidelberg, Germersheim, Fidelity Officers Club in Karlsruhe, Neu-Ulm, Donau Casino in Neu-Ulm. And that was in 91, the wall came down. I had to do something different, right? So what was different? I asked my brother who lived at this time on Fort Sam, want to come to the United States? He said, sure. I'm freshly married, have a 1-year-old. You all know my bride, right? Soka, and my oldest, Christoph. We came here. Rest is history. Worked for the San Antonio Country Club as a clubhouse manager. Worked for Fidelity Ranch Steakhouse, opened 10 steakhouses throughout the United States. Bought my own in 97. You all know Crystal Baking Company, or some of you that lived in San Antonio. I changed that to Crystal Steakhouse. Had that until 9/11, which was 2001, and then 9/11 really did me in, and I sold the restaurant in 2002. I wanted to retire. Wife said no. You're way too young. But I made good money in selling the business, so I was like, yeah, let's retire. No. Okay, I'll find a job. Worked for Landry's, Seafood House. Did a whole bunch of things, Landry's, Chart House, Joe's Crab Shack, and met a gentleman who was a waiter, and he says, hey, the Spurs are looking for somebody like you hourly. I'm like, why would I go back out? No, part-time. I'm like, okay. My son wants a car. Meanwhile, you know, he's old enough to drive. That could work out for me. So went to the Spurs, dropped off my resume, and they said, yeah, you can come to work, see us next week, and we'll introduce you to a gentleman. And I said, okay. So I went there the following week and met Robert Wood, who was the president of Levy Restaurants. And he says, hey, I got a job open in Kansas City. as an assistant director of operations, you want to go? I didn't call my wife because I knew what the answer was going to be. So I said, yeah, sure, I take the job. So, yeah, you laugh. It was quite a difficult thing to convince my wife to leave San Antonio, to go to Kansas City where it snows. So, and you come from Germany where it snows, right? So, nevertheless, we went to Kansas City. Took mom, took dad, because they were older. Unfortunately, dad passed away in Kansas City. Mom said, I want to go back to San Antonio. Toughest part of my life. We went back to San Antonio, and I went back to the Spurs. With the Spurs, I supported U.S. Open, Indian Wells. If you don't know, U.S. Open's New York, Indian Wells is in anybody? Palm Desert. Orange County Convention Center, golf all over the United States. Tomorrow World, which was in Georgia, and I did 7 NBA finals for Adam Silver. He's the commissioner of the NBA. I did 3, and then I did such a great job. I had left Levy to come here, meanwhile, right? And then basically Adam Silver requested me 4 more times to come and do this, even though I wasn't working for the Spurs. So, joined here, the ARC, in 2017, and that was the best thing I could have ever done. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I have so many people that I can call my family, right? And it's been great. Since then, we've had the luxury of, I became the manager of the region, won an award in 2021 for the Ice Age. Some of you remember that. Manager of the Year last year, and then we won this prestigious little award right here of the Community of the Year, and that was also last year. But I could have not done this without all of them. So they are the reason why we've gotten where we've gotten. To start off with, Jose was the executive chef of the Army Resident Community, who's been here since 2006. Right? You all know Jose. He's done everything from the bistro, Water's Edge. Now he's here in charge of the entire kitchen. So, but he has support. Donald Cunningham, who's the executive chef of Water's Edge.
DC.
Or short for DC, yes. And then Javier, who was in charge of the bistro. He is now the executive chef of the Liberty Market and will support, obviously, Jose and the Blue Bonnet whenever it's needed. Thomas Sarita, that you all know, who's been here forever. He's the executive sous chef of the Blue Bonnet, so he's in charge of the dining room if you need anybody. He's joined Compass in 14 and us in 2015. So what do these gentlemen that I just mentioned have all in common? They all came from Libby. So they all came from, we came from, so they're all from the Spurs. A little bit of a background. Jason McDowell, who's the sous chef, who you all know, who will take over from Javier for the bistro in 2011. He joined us, but he has been in this position since 2017. Pasquale, who is our pastry chef. Okay. He is the pastry chef and the catering chef, and he joined us in 2023. So now I need to introduce one person that's dear to me, because I think he's the glue that holds all this stuff together, because without him, you wouldn't have food. So during the Ice Age, when you can't get food, right? When it was shut down, when it was so difficult to get product, when you cannot go run and just grab something, when we had to get water from Budweiser in beer cans, and we had to organize 6 trucks to get there, when we had to go ahead and grab food from whatever, this man made it happen, and that's Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
He's our purchasing manager, and you know, when you work for a company that is as big as Compass, and there's so many rules and regulations, and so many things you have to bend, he knows how to bend them. So I'm super happy. He's been here at the Ark forever, right? But he joined us as a manager since 2022, and I'm so happy that he has done that. Roy Rodriguez, you all know Roy. Where's he?
Here.
Roy.
Over here.
Good. Okay. A little fun story to that one. Guess who hired me at the AT&T Center? How funny is that, right? So, yes. So Roy and I go back a very long time. At one time, he was my neighbor. He lived right across the street from me. So, yes, we know each other quite well. And he joined us last year, and I'm so happy that he did. Shane Culver, who is in charge of Water's Edge, outtakes, supports the Liberty Market, is project manager for a whole bunch of stuff, but he also hires and interviews and sets up every Thursday job fairs, to hire no wait staff. So he basically just constantly tries to keep the staff as, with the help obviously from Stephanie and HR, but he interviews everybody, reaches out to everybody, and then tries to keep us staffed up. A task in itself, because the market is not easy out there. So, my right-hand woman, is standing right over there, Crystal. She is the Assistant Director of Operations, in charge of the Blue Bonnet restaurant. And now I need to go ahead and call out this young lady. Come up here. Come up here. So, she is the one who took care of Crystal's place and holds the glue in the office together. So when stuff goes crazy or whatever, right? I'm sitting in my office, Deanna. So she is in charge, helps you if you need anything, whatever, she can make it happen, right? So Deanna, thanks so much. So, and then this young woman here, I'm so proud of, right? Because I get so emotional, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, I get so emotional when I talk about Arlie. I don't know why. We had a call last week. On that call, I had to talk about her, and I was in tears talking about her. So it's tough for me because I think she does such a great job. Arlie is your regional registered dietitian nutritionist. Did I say this all right? Almost, right? Almost. So she's in charge of healthcare, all the food, to make sure that it's the right consistency, the right food, the right portion size, the right calories, the right nutritional values, everything. She is in charge to make sure she keeps me and she keeps all of our chefs in check. She makes sure that we do the right thing, okay? She gets audited every year by the state, together with you all, but she does so much more. On top of that, last year was the very first time that Compass said, oh, we're gonna do a parade championship. We're gonna see who does the best parade in over 600 different communities. Well, not all of the communities competed with us, but I don't even know how many it was, but it was a lot. And then guess what she brought home? So she turned out to become the very first parade champion of all of Compass. Parade. She actually had help because Javier was the cook, right? But she was the one who had to go ahead and present it, pipe it, make it. What is parade, right? Parade is for people that can't swallow consistent food, right? So it is modified so that you can go ahead and eat it. But for some people, just go a little bit background. You know, my mom was in a nursing home for a little bit. It's a spoon full of puree on a plate, right? And it's not very attractive. She makes it artistically gorgeous, and it makes it more fun to go ahead, obviously, than consume, and it also then becomes easier to eat. So she did that together with Javier, and it's awesome. One side note, she cannot defend this title, right? So with other words, she would have to give it up unless I can find somebody that wants to run for it. We picked Pasquale to be her replacement to run for it, to see if we can keep the title here in San Antonio. Right? So I'm looking forward to this belt be worn by Pasquale. Javier will go ahead and assist cooking, so we should be able to go ahead and keep that. But most important, she just became the regional dietitian of the year. So you see, I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of people that are much better than I. Much better than I. But that's what I think makes us a great team, and we as a team can just shine, right? We know each other so well. We know what the other person is thinking, and it just makes it so much easier when you have somebody like that on your team. So that being said, okay, if I would go ahead, if you all want to stay, leave, I leave it up to you. I know you all have a whole bunch of stuff to do, and I'm still going to go through about quite a bit, but if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. So, good. And if you didn't notice, there were some refreshments, so if you wanted to still indulge, please do. Starting off with all the things that are coming, that are new, that are in the plans, thinking about this is always going multiple million miles per minute. But starting off with Blue Bonnet, that is currently back open, starting today, yay! It's open 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, 7 to 9 is breakfast, and I'm reading off some of these things just so that I don't make a mistake because there's so many numbers to it, so I apologize. But lunch is open from 11 to 4, a la carte, and then dinner from 4 to 7. So we're basically staying open all morning, just in the morning from 9 to 11, a short break so we can go ahead and reset the dining room and get ready for lunch and dinner. A lot of questions that I've heard, so I'm going to try to take them away. There will be plenty of space. You can ask me questions later, but for things that I already heard that you have questions about that might come up, so I am going to try to answer them way before. So, yes, you can take your food to go. Yes, we do serve bread. It is on request only. Yes, it is at dinner time to reduce waste, as we've tried and to see that we can manage our waste more effectively. Yes, I heard you wanted desserts, Okay, so we have all 4 desserts available all day for Pasquale. Trust me, he's chasing me because he's asking me why. That's a whole bunch of stuff every day. I'm like, you can do it. Reservations are not required for breakfast anymore. And the goal is to get them away from lunch. Okay, but, until the bistro is open, please, just help me out and keep on doing the reservations for lunch. Once the bistro is open, I am pretty sure between all the different places and people will go over there, and it will pendle out that I will have a much easier way to control it. So if we could just, until the bistro's open, that's 29 days away, a couple hours, whatever. So, dinner, I would still like to go ahead and maintain that reservations even after the bistro is open, just to assure staffing levels utensils and right amount of food preparation. With that being said, Res Easy system is available sometime this week. It's being posted on a portal, and it will be available. We did do some try runs just to make sure all of you that made reservations probably received a confirmation at one time when you made a reservation. That was just to show you that my staff literally entered that reservation manually, and it showed that you would receive a confirmation. That's basically how it's going to be in the future. So when you make your own reservations, it will respond with a confirmation. Menu changes monthly, that will still stay up. We will change the word special of the special menu just to a featured item. The special is not a special, it is a featured item, which is basically, we're trying to go ahead and give you an item that includes a salad and everything else. It's not a special, right? So I know it's confusing, so we're just gonna change that word to a featured item. The bar is open for overflow. You'll never have to make reservations. The television is actually working, so anybody wanted to watch the Masters this weekend, or whatever, or Spurs, well, not anymore. Different story. You know, beverages from the outside, unfortunately, only wine bottles are allowed. No beer, no alcoholic beverages. Staffing numbers have increased, have you noticed? So we try to have more wait staff on the floor. But that's the reason why I liked the reservation system, because when I know I have 130 people, and I know I have 130 people at 10 o'clock in the morning because you made reservations, guess what? And I can pick up the phone and I can say, hey, can I get one or more server to come in, or two? The same thing went for lunch. Now that we're going to go away for lunch reservation, that might be a challenge, but that's why I like to keep it for dinner. Because if you only have 4 people, like it happened the other day on a Saturday, it is challenging then to operate and do a la carte service when you only have a limited amount of staff. But in generally, we like to keep on 6 or 7 wait staff at dinner time and 5 for lunch. That should easily accommodate any kind of amount of people. I've heard a lot about, oh, we want common cards, we want common cards. I don't know if that's good or bad, common cards. But just to let you know, so common cards are coming, but they're not cards. They are going to be something, actually not something, they're going to be this right here. So this is my friend. He says happy or not. It's basically an electronic version of a common card. You can click on one of 4 faces. One's super happy, one is like, one is, so, and right here, right? So, that being said, once you click on it, it's going to say, hey, you want to leave a message? You want to say something? Type it in. If you don't, no, yes, type in whatever you want. It's super easy, simple. We will have this. I'm still playing with it, right? Make sure that it does all, and I get all the information. So probably, same time frame as the bistro will open. This will be at the front gate, at the front by the hostess stand. So maybe before or after. So in case you don't want to be seen or you don't want to go ahead and do it, it will be in a place that you can go ahead and put in your information that you like. It is the fastest way for me to get feedback. Common cards written, sometimes I can't read your writing. Not only that, common cards that are written, by the time I get them, it's a week later. That doesn't help me, right? I mean, I don't know what meal you're talking about that was whatever that you didn't like because it's a week later. This is instant. I literally get it at the end of the day, or by the end of the day. I can flag it, and I'm trying to still blame myself with that if it's really severe, I can get it instantly on my phone. Not that I want 100 messages on my phone, I'm trying to work through this. So that's why I'm saying it will happen probably by the end of this month when we are opening the bistro at the same time. Okay, now to Water's Edge. Chef DC and Shane are in charge. Chef DC generally makes the menu, gives it to Jose and them collaborate, they talk about it, and then they come to me and say, hey, boss man, what do you think? And then I go, well, I know a lot of them don't like liver and onions, so maybe don't put liver and onions on the menu. I was hoping for that being a joke, but that didn't work out. Okay, got it. Good morning, we're all still here, right? Okay, so, nevertheless, they go ahead and they talk to me through, and we talk through it, and then we decide if it is a good or a bad decision or item. Even sometimes the three of us will still come up with an item that some of you might not like. My apologies, but it is very difficult to serve 600 and make everybody super happy. So if there's something you don't like, be prepared. It's guaranteed going to change, right? Just like some of the items off Liberty Market come off that people like, but we make space to make changes for the next item. So Water's Edge is open 5 days, Wednesday to Sunday. So 5 to 7, yes, reservations are required. Sunday we do brunch. Breakfast is from 9 to 10, and then from 10 to 2 we do brunch. Res Easy will start there as well pretty soon. Yes, you can take leftovers home as well. The menu changes there roughly every 3 months. We start the process after 2 months, and then it almost takes us a month to make sure that we can get all the product, have the recipes, standardize it, cook it, sample, whatever, making sure that it's always the same and accurate. No beverages from the outside. It's the same as at Blue Bonnet. It's a liquor license area, except for wine. Staffing numbers there as well have increased for the ones that have been here more than 5 years and still remember Frank, right? So you remember there was Mandy, there was B, there was Frank, and that was it. So we tried to go ahead and increase the number there just to make sure you get better service. So it takes a while, obviously, to get them to that level because it's fine dining and it's much more difficult to get somebody elevated to that level, especially because they most of the time don't come from a fine dining facility, right? They come from areas that have maybe waited tables at home, but not in a dining room or in a restaurant setting, right? So staffing numbers, like I said, have increased. We will continue with handwritten common cards until that will also be available for over there. The desserts are as well baked, fresh daily. Pasquale then delivers them. There are also no to-go meals, and the liquor license over there is also for outside. If you choose to eat outside when we have a big function, it's just not for upstairs for Heroes Hall. Okay, next is the bistro. I did put a sample menu on everybody's chair, right? We all saw it. It is the very first rough draft, so that's how we start a menu. We start with a rough draft. We just throw out items and we put items on there, and then we go, oh, this sounds good, this looks good, this is what they like, this is what the residents are asking for, this is what the feedback we've got. And when everybody had their chance to put it in, their information, and we put it on a piece of paper. That's what this is, right? So, and then we go from here and make sure that we have the recipes. Then we go from here and we make sure that the items that are a buyout or that need to be purchased that we can get. Then we go from here and make sure that they're costed out and that these are items that are well perceived. We try them ourselves. We make sure that we get a whole bunch of people involved that want to try them, and we make menu. This is currently what it would look like. Bistro is also projected to be open 5 days, from 11 to 18:30 or 6:30. There will be to-goes that you can call in from 2 to 4, that you can call in and then we can make it. You can go there at any time and place the order and wait for it, and then, take it with you and then and eat at home. No, not a problem. But if you wanted to call in so you don't have to wait, you call in at between the hours of 2 and 4. We'll make it. When you come, it will be ready. You can pick it up. There are no reservations. Oh, that should make everybody happy, right? So you can take leftovers. You can do whatever. So there's no outside beverages as well. We do currently looking to do wine and beer service there. If the demand is there, we'll expand to hard liquor. Right? If the demand is not there, I don't want to put hard liquor there if there's no demand. Right? Doesn't make any sense to go ahead to do that. But the overflow, which is the resident lounge area, is going to be the area for people to sit. Service style will be similar to what it was in the past. You all know, you went through the line, you placed your order, you sat down. Well, now I made a step further. I ordered these little table numbers, they're like this big, and then we'll put it on the receipt, the number, put the receipt on your tray. The little number on your tray, you go and sit down wherever, and then we come and pick it up, or we serve it to you, pick up the number and go back and do the next one. Almost like a Whataburger or anything like that you've seen before, just to make sure that we don't have to go look for you and we don't know what it is. But hopefully that would be helpful. You've seen the items that are on the menu. There's lots of sandwiches, lots of pizza, salads. One new addition to it is going to be this, right? So there, right? Oh, it is, right here. So this is a microfarms that Compass donated to the art. Because at one time when I did win this, they said, hey, what do you want? You want something? I'm like, I want this. So they donated it. It is a farm that would be microgreens, salads, organic, that is managed from the farm. So what does that mean? We put the seeds of the items on trays. It is managed water, nutritional, light, when to water, what to do via internet, not by us. So we don't have to do anything. There's a company outside that manages this, and then basically they water it, they do whatever, and then we get an email, hey, take tray 3 and switch it out with tray 2, take tray 4 and switch it out with tray 3. So we just move it around, and then they say, hey, tray 1 is ready for harvesting. It is organic. It's probably with no fake fertilizers or things like that. So that's the idea, to go ahead and then try something new and add to the community's value, and eat as clean and as nutritional as possible. So that's only going to be available in the bistro, nowhere else, because I only have one of them. And it's also not meant to go ahead and, serve 600. I would need 4 of these. So, but it's a try. We're going to see how it is. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen it in real. I've seen it for real. It is fun. A lot of residents. If there are some golden diggers in here, yeah. I take volunteers to help. I'm just joking. Whatever. Um, so there are all going to be some fun items like fried chicken, fish and chips, things like that. So, okay. So Liberty Market. You saw Javier. Lots of you seen Sal, a gentleman that runs everywhere. Is everywhere. I can't even keep up with him. He is also from the AT&T Center. As a side note, he is going to be our market manager and help control the order taking, the automation together with Cindy and everybody else to get the prices in and get it scanned right and things like that nature. Javier will make the food. Between both of them, they are responsible for labeling and things like that. Currently, we're open 5 days, Monday through Friday. That will change soon. As soon as the food is available to fill in all areas, it will expand, right? Ours will expand with more items that are going to be available. The grab and go will come hopefully also by Mother's Day. There will be lots of choices. You all seen somewhat what we try to do in the grab and go over at the bistro. We're trying to expand on that. Obviously, it's going to be easier to expand then because the kitchen is right here and the market is here right now. We have to make the food and take it all the way over to the bistro and don't have as much refrigeration over there. So it's a little bit more challenging than if we don't. The market will have items that are taxable. That's not in my lane. There will be items that are on house account and not house account. Not in my lane. I'm just telling you, so just so you are understanding, that will be coming. So then, two more things before I get to questions. When it's outtakes will stay the way it is. No plans to make any changes. So that you understand, there will be two different markets. That makes it obviously much harder to manage because of product availability or different product item lines. Obviously, since outtakes is much smaller, I can't have identical the same items as the market. So there'll be items at Liberty, but not at the market. So I understand that some of you will be going and I want it over there. Some items that's just not going to be possible because I don't have that much service space, and so we'll try to do our best to make sure that is going to be happening. And then last but not least, to talk about catering, you all seen Roy. Roy is a go-getter. He never says no. If you notice, we have multiple functions than we had before. Call him, put your name on a calendar. He will try to make every meeting as he can, and make sure that he'll book every one of your parties. So the only item that are at catering at Dining Dollars are Eagle Luncheons, Kiwanis, and Archangels. All the other ones would be house account. So if you wanted to do a party, just get with him. He will be able to book your parties and set it up. We have several people here that had just recently some parties, and they can tell you and vouch for it that he will do whatever to make sure it is 100% the way you wanted it to be. Outside food is allowed if you wanted to bring it, but you're responsible for everything, to include the tables, the tablecloths, the setting, because then it's your party, it's not my party anymore. And I don't want to mix and match. So if you want to do a party, you want to do it on your own, you're on your own. If you want us to help, we'll be more than happy to do everything that we can to make that a huge success. The catering menu is available. You can get with Roy, he can show you and walk you through. Parties should be booked, I'm going to say at least 10 days in advance, because you might have some items that are going going to be difficult for us to get, or you have some items that we need to spec and see if we can find them for you, or it's a specialty item. So the more we have time, the better it would be to go ahead and make this a success. So we are not doing raffles anymore. If you notice, for your block parties, we try to book all your parties. That should be helpful for some of you that didn't like the raffle, like me, because I didn't think it was appropriate. Didn't help y'all. For some people that wanted to go ahead and book a party and you had to wait an extra month or something like that, or do it on a day that nobody has an availability. So that's why we try to do this continuously. I hope I can maintain that. It all depends on how many more people want to book, but we are going to try. Heroes Hall and the entire upstairs at Lakeside is a non-liquor license area, which means it is free for you to go ahead and bring in consumption of items that you'd like to. For banquet functions, we can provide you with anything that you need on alcoholic beverages. You just have to get with Roy again, and he will make sure that he has those items available. Yes.